I feel good today. What's up, everybody? I am your leader of the Driving the Line universe. We're going to be live every single weekday. Today's a big-time practice for us. If you don't remember my name, it's right over my shoulder. I'm the coach. And this is your sports betting and sports brand of record. We have so much in store for you. If you didn't catch us on Thursday, we want your feedback today. I already see the chat is completely full, already popping. Whatever you guys want to say, let us know. If you like the graphics, if you like the lighting, if you want more of something, you need to let us know. Our official relaunch, a little bit sick today, just like the people in Kansas City. So the official relaunch will be Monday morning. We'll be weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Our golf brand, Driving the Line Golf, will kick off Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. The best way to follow us is download our YouTube app. We'll also be on Apple and Spotify, and we will be TV ready. We're going to have a club called The Crew. And if you think you can shoot your shot, oh, that sounds like a good name for a show. We're going to have that too. But today, we're just working out the kinks a little bit. But what better way than Wild Card Weekend with two big games today and a little college hoops? And we're going to bring in Howie Schwab in a little bit. We're having some technical difficulties, which is why we practice. But let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them, and you love them, and you know the names. Oh, look at the graphics. AB, you've done an absolutely stellar job. You look like $1 million, almost like you've come back from the dead. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Phil. Absolutely back from the dead, right? We have all been crushing it for the last 2.5 weeks to get this thing up. It's amazing how much ground that we have covered. You know what? It's playoff time now. Let's go.
You're damn right. Phil Z, you are a man that every year at this time for several years, you've coached for several different NFL franchises. When you get into Wild Card Weekend and it's day one and it's game one, how does the mentality change?
It's absolutely, it's different. The whole thing is different. The intensity level increases. So you have to understand you have a whole locker room full of alpha men, coaches included, front office people, and all of a sudden, everything's on the line. You know, you're 60 minutes away from either going home or moving on. You move on, you're one step closer to that Super Bowl championship, which everybody dreams about since the time you are a young boy. All right. And then now it's about that time where people start getting eliminated. People start moving on and the momentum starts to go. And then all of a sudden you end up in the Super Bowl and you got one of those championship rings and your life changes forever.
It's amazing how, AB, when you are an athlete and you think you're playing at a maximum effort during the regular season, then all of a sudden the crowd's a little bit more hyped. All of a sudden you're a little bit more hyped and you take it up to another notch, which is exactly what we have today. When you look at it from a handicapping perspective, do you even factor that in?
We're definitely factoring these things in. And also, we've got to take a look at the weather in some of these games as well. Now, we have two games, obviously. One's going to be in a dome, and one is going to be in a frozen snow dome. So those things definitely matter. But you know what? Exactly, Phil, like you just said, Coach, as you said as well, no damn excuses. You got to go. You got to go. There's another team lined up that's got to face it too. So 100%.
There you go. Shout out to some of the people in the chat that are getting up on a Saturday morning. Thank you very much. Alicia, it's so good to hear that voice again, Coach. It's so good to see you, Alicia. There we go. Oh, reminding me of the Permian Panthers running out of the tunnel at the Astrodome. I'm going to run through my office wall. That's exactly the energy that we want every single day.
I haven't even started yet. Wait till we actually get into the games. I'm juiced through the roof right now.
Somebody said today, practice. Coach, we're talking about practice. Well, true professionals actually prepare and practice for a show, which is exactly what we are doing. Now, I will tell you this, because we advertised the great, legendary Howie Schwab. We have some picks from him in college hoops. We'll give those out in just a little bit. We have our new producer that we have hired that is working with him behind the scenes right now to make sure all of the tech is working, because we have, what would you like to say, AB? We've upgraded? Would that be the word?
We've massively upgraded, right? I mean, we went through it, on Thursday. We've got all kinds of new tools and fun things to play with. And yeah, with that comes some camera issues, but we'll get it.
Also, I know we promised for about a year that we would have a full merch store to support the brand. Guess what? We now have it. It will be live next week with all the Driving the Line merch. We told you we were going to have a club. We are going to have it. Look at that. The gang's back together. Love you guys. You make my heart smile and my pockets fat with winners. Richard, you make my heart. You make
now,
my heart.
Coach,
Yes.
One thing that we have to do, and everyone in the chat, all right, we spoke about this on Thursday, a pick from the crew, official. Now, everybody in the crew is going to have to come together on this one, but here's what we're going to do. Come with the best bet that the chat has.
Okay.
Get it together throughout the show, and we'll get it up at the end, and we'll see how it does.
All right, we'll keep eyes on it. All right, let's jump into game number 1 today. You mentioned it's going to be in a dome. It's almost like clockwork that whoever is the AFC South champion will play the first playoff game. And for those of you that are uneducated in the world of the media, that means the game that will be least watched. However, this is a really good matchup on paper. The Browns, the last 5 or 6 weeks have been fantastic. Joe Flacco, a reemergence as a stud quarterback, and he has managed the game beautifully for the Cleveland Browns. Who would have thought it'd be the Browns and not the Bengals this year that'd be in the playoffs? And then you got that great rookie, C.J. Stroud. What a big win. They've already kind of, got into the playoff mode. Last week, it was win or go home, and they won in Indianapolis. So, you know this dome is going to be rocking today. They're the underdogs, but the number has come down to 2 today, according to BetMGM, and the total is 44.5. Give me your game insights.
Yeah, so I think in a 5-day period of time, let's think about this. NRG in Houston has hosted the national championship, and they're about to host this playoff game for the rookie quarterback and rookie coach, DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud, respectively. What a matchup. So first, let's just talk real quickly about Cleveland. Injury report. Kareem Hunt, questionable, should go. Amari Cooper, questionable, should go. And Grant Delpit is coming back off of IR, designated to return for this game, which is huge for them in the defense. And we'll get into the defense just in a second. The number one variable right now is Joe Flacco's experience. This is a cool, calm, and collective quarterback with a great arm, awesome touch on the deep ball throws, and excellent leadership skills with outstanding Super Bowl pedigree and experience. So he's a guy, to me, who's going to be an X factor in this game for the Browns. Jim Schwartz, use the Schwartz Lone Star, like Mel Brooks said. This guy, I don't know if I could tell you I have more respect for what somebody's done on the defensive side of the ball. I have admiration. I profoundly watched what he's done all season long, and he will be a huge factor trying to confuse C.J. Stroud. And then, listen, before they played the meaningless game against the Bengals and got beat, they were on a 4-game winning streak. So this team was hot. They took a week off. And like you said, Houston was playing for their life against Shane Steichen and the Colts, and they won. Going into what Houston needs to do. Robert Woods, questionable. Noah Brown, questionable. These are huge components considering Tank Dell's on IR. So we know Nico Collins is outstanding, but they need weapons against this Jim Schwartz defense over in Houston. DeMeco Ryans deserves all the flowers. I mean, rarely do you see a defensive coach come in there with a rookie quarterback and are in a position to host a playoff game wild card weekend. So what an accomplishment by them. Super excited to see this game. Couldn't be more excited. And that Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, really creative, has some awesome things going offensively. And this is going to be an outstanding matchup to watch today.
Phil, I got to be honest with you. Normally you're at like a 3. I feel like you're like a caged animal that's been set free. You're like at a 7 today, which I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'll just tell you, it's wild card weekend, and it's just something about the playoffs. We've been talking about this and talking about that, and what happens if this. All those talks are over. You got 60 minutes to put it all on the line, or you go home. All right, and you take 2 weeks off, and you get right back at your training and try to get in the same position you just were in. So the gravity of this and what you are putting into it, it's really, really critical that you go out there and execute and put your best foot forward.
I wonder how many players already have their trips to Cancun booked before this game, because that's where I would be headed. None,
because that playoff check is so big. You just walk right up to the gate. You go there. You hit the first class ticket, and you're on the jet whenever you get eliminated. You just walk up. I've seen guys walk right up to the counter like it's
really?
like it's 1999. No
right to the pay window.
No Expedia, no Orbitz. I'm talking ride up there like you're buying a bus ticket at a Greyhound station. Cabo, please. 2 first class.
That sounds like something you and I would have done like circa 2004 during my WWE days. That's what it feels like.
You're right. We would have.
All right. It is about 12 after 10 a.m. If you're just logging in, if you're just getting to us, this is Driving the Line. This is where you're wanting to be every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a suggestion in the chat, boys, before AB, we get to our first pick of the day. Taylor says, let's make it like the Nickelodeon broadcast slime, Coach, which means a watch party. And I wonder, do you think that we could have a club? And I don't know, maybe call it the Crew, and people could join said club and be inside, perhaps for Zoom watch parties for big games like playoff games or the Super Bowl, or have coaching series from Phil, or have golf series. Do you think we can do that, AB? Do you think we would want to do that, AB?
I think we would.
Interesting. It's a great idea. And now we can execute. So, officially today, and I'll announce it again on Monday, we are going to have a club. It's called The Crew. If you want to be a part of it, it will be for less than half of what you paid for the other place. You know what I'm talking about? And then you'll have access to all of us all the time, but you will have a voice. We're also going to do a little show called Shoot Your Shot. What is it, Coach? I'm glad you asked. It's going to be for aspiring handicappers. And if you think you have what it takes to be a part of this at this level, you're going to get that opportunity. And for those who shine, for diamonds in the rough, you could end up right here on Driving the Line. Got something, Phil?
Yeah. Did you say that we are going to give them twice the content for half the price?
Yes. I believe I said, did I misspeak?
No, I thought that's what I heard. I just wanted to make sure, because actually it might be 3 times the content for half the price. I mean,
Right.
That sounds like a bargain to me.
It does. And let's be clear, all of the shows are free. Like this, always free. Golf, always free. Our third show, I haven't even announced. Is that music from JC? Is that JC?
JC, Swiss Beats.
We've got a new Beats guy, too. We'll have music across all the brand. Our third show, you guys are going to love. And it has nothing to do with sports betting. Just a little tease. All right, AB, I need a pick. I need you to tell me when you dove into your lab and you said Browns and Texans and you mixed it all up, what did you find?
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, what I found, Coach Phil was talking about using the bus. Forget the bus. We're talking about a plane, and we're talking about the no-fly zone. That's exactly what we're talking about. I have spent in the lab breaking down Joe Flacco's passing game. If you see on the top left here, this is the Texans' secondary completion percentage rankings across the NFL. Not good at all, at all. Take a look on the right. This is Joe Flacco against the Texans just a few weeks ago. Let me say, he torched that tailgate up. Let them have it. My man was on fire. You look at Flacco's numbers for the season, 1,600 yards, 13 TDs, 8 picks, 60% completion percentage. Granted, he was playing on multiple different teams, but let's take a look at what his no-fly zone looks like here. All right, he is going to have trouble in the middle of the field, deep right, and short right. All right, those are his trouble areas. That being said, go back to here. He will torch Houston deep. That's what this man does. He has been on absolute fire. So, Coach, you're talking about some picks and how we can use the no-fly zone to better all of us here. So here is potential correlated plays and potential prop risk plays to be aware of. All right, so we have Joe Flacco, 84% to throw an interception today. Now, based on his charts, passing, potential correlated plays, longest completion, all right, he is crushing it deep left, and Houston can't stop a nosebleed out there. Also, if you can find Joe Flacco rushing attempts or rushing yards, his rushing yards number today is set at half a yard. I know it sounds crazy, but Flacco will run it 1 to 2 times and get you roughly 2 yards. But find those numbers, you can get it. Pass touchdowns look good. Also fumbles. Cleveland fumbles the ball a lot, and Houston's defense causes a lot of fumbles. So be careful there. Potential prop risks, pass yards, pass attempts, just because he might be hitting 1 deep, 2 deep, couple short, and running the football. Be careful, pay attention to that. Now, let's quickly jump over C.J. Stroud, all right? You look at the Browns secondary. It is the best in the NFL at man coverage. Not kidding. Short left first, short right seventh, deep left second, deep right first. This defense doesn't create a lot of turnovers, but they will shut you down. Now, if you look at C.J. Stroud the last couple weeks, take a look at his passing chart. He has not been throwing it a lot, and he has not been throwing it deep. It's very different from what it has looked like earlier in the season. Now, he's safe with the ball, but be careful because I believe that Cleveland is going to force him to throw, take away the run, and you could see trouble. Where are those troubles? Mid to intermediate left, mid, short right. Watch out for Cleveland jumping a route today. All right? Now, same thing. 88% C.J. Stroud to throw a pick. Potential correlated plays, pass attempts, rush yards. I could see him using his legs today if the pass is not there. Potential prop risk, passing yards and completions, because again, it could be tough sledding against his Cleveland secondary. So you said picks. Let's get to picks and let's break them down in this game. All right. Thursday, we gave out Texans plus 8.5 and both teams to score 15 plus points at minus 120. You can find that at BetMGM. Next, Amari Cooper, longest reception over 26.5 yards. Joe Flacco is going to go deep today. You could play Flacco over 37.5 for his longest completion, but I'm just going to take it with Coop down to over 26.5. Also, C.J. Stroud over 11.5 rushing yards.
I got to be honest with you, and I'm coming to you, Phil, in a second. I'm glad you were up on the screen there for the no-fly zone, AB, because I had to step out and get a Kleenex because I literally got emotional watching those new graphics and the next level that you took it to. By the way, Jared says smash that like button. Please help us do that. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have to hit certain marks, and we know how fast this is going to grow. So I'm just going to tell you that. But do that for us. Now, when you look at the no-fly zone and you look at the percentages, Phil, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, so I think that just with the defense, and I don't look at the quarterbacks today the way that I usually do in the no-fly zone. I look at the defenses, okay? We have two excellent defensive coordinators. The nerves will be high. We have young receivers, in particular in Houston. So I could see a miscommunication or just a Jim Schwartz pressure. So in my estimation, this is probable. There's going to be some turnovers in this game. There's some nerves. There's some young players on both sides of the ball. Both defensive coaches are outstanding and excellent. You know, I love what C.J. Stroud has done. Did you put a rushing attempt up there for Joe Flacco? I mean, that guy is slower than the $5 brisket that I put in
he is, but he rushes 1 to 2 times a game.
I'm finding the joke.
Oh, my bad.
That's cool.
$5
That's not me. No, it's not me.
I mean, trust me, I'm the best in the world at interrupting people. So when my Jamaican Irish behind sits here quietly, when I see an unbelievable graphic that's had big words in it, I want to interrupt. I want to interrupt you too. I do, but I'm not going to do it because I love you and I respect you.
Oh, ruining the flow. Joey says Coach Phil takes. They're great. Doesn't give picks, but inside knowledge so we can make our own picks. Hashtag get smarter. Wait a second. Are you guys figuring out exactly what we're doing and why we are doing it?
He's smart, man. And I'm going to tell you, Joe, I don't interact with the chat while I'm on the air. This is the first time, so I'm going to do this for you. One, I don't make picks because I don't know anything really about sports betting. These are the two experts, right? What I do know is football. So I want to come in here. So what we do is I try to lay out some information that you may be able to use. All right, things that I think are probable in my mind based on my level of experience that you may be able to extract information from and then make better decisions with your hard-earned USD currency.
I love having you a part of the crew. Now a full-time member of the crew, not just here in prime time. Oh, it all makes sense. Now, did somebody say prime time? Because as we ramp up, when we get AB, you love these. When we get to the football season, we will still have our prime time shows. But if you really want the discussion, you got to be a member of what? Say it all with me. The crew. You got to be a member of the crew. Now, Jason says, awesome. Are you helping out special needs persons as well? Jason, we're going to start something new here at Driving the Line as well. We're all going to say it together. And when I say the first line, I want everybody to say, for everybody. So let's try it one time. Driving the Line is for everybody. Sounds like a T-shirt that we can actually make.
I love that.
Yes. So I'm just letting it breathe just a little bit. I'm trying to look at all the bells and whistles that AB's come up with.
Just put it in the snifter. Let it just.
I know, yeah. We got Steve Scott in the chat.
I love that guy.
Oh, his family helping us out with the music for the brand. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Everything is going to be branded. Every segment will be branded. We have two. I can't even believe I found these guys. We have two producers. One's our brand manager. One is our producer. They are so talented that you're going to see stuff here that you don't even see on ESPN, on NBC, on ABC. It is unbelievable. And my man Maven Huffman, he's in the chat. It's making me think maybe at our new network, maybe we should add a wrestling show perhaps.
I agree. This guy is entertaining. He's entertaining as it gets, man. I'll tell you what. We'll tell some stories together. I'll tell you that'd
be amazing. By the way, John says, any golf picks for today? John, not today, because I'll be honest with you. This has been a 24/7 venture just to get us on the air by the time that I jumped the gun and put out the date. And AB is like, what are you doing? We're not ready. You're damn right we're ready. You're damn right we're ready. But it has been amazing. And the response from not just individuals, but companies that want to be a part of what we're doing. It's been amazing. If you guys want to get in contact with us, videos, if you want to be a writer, whatever, drivingtheline@gmail.com. And we're collecting all the people right now. If you want to be a part of Shoot Your Shot, drivingtheline@gmail.com. And you can do that. But again, today's practice, we're just getting into it. Our official relaunch will be on Monday, but we certainly appreciate all of you getting up on a Saturday morning and showing up. I can remember a day where we did a 10 a.m. Saturday show before it was just ripped off the air. All right. And I didn't even say the brand. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm talking about
never watched. So did a lot of people.
Hey, on to the next NFL game.
All right. Now, this one, I've had 3 buddies call me and offer me tickets for free. 3 buddies. I kid you not. The Chiefs, the number's at 4.5. Miami, coming from South Florida, getting on the plane. It's all toasty and warm. And when they land in good old Kansas City, my stomping grounds, my hood, oh, it is cold. It's going to feel like minus 30 today in Kansas City. Are you serious right now? The number is 4.5, according to BetMGM. The total, 43.5. So, Phil, from a player's perspective, because you played in the league, you coached extensively in the league. Players love to say, oh, the weather doesn't matter. You'll have some idiot running out there today without sleeves on saying, it's all me. Somebody's going to come out. There's not going to be any shirt on. It's all me. How much will this weather affect the game today?
It's going to affect the game significantly. All right. So this one has so much to talk about, but I'll talk about the weather first. Okay. So we have 30 below possibly with the wind chill and winds and snow and all of these things. That you have to do a number of things to get your mind and your body right. So when you see people coming out for warmups with no shirt on, they're attempting. Not everyone went to University of Maine, right? Like, where this is kind of like a Tuesday. But when you're from the SEC or played in the Pac-12, this may be the first exposure you had to something like this. So they're trying to get their minds around, okay, I have to go perform. If that's what you need to do to get yourself ready, do whatever you got to do. So you're kind of conditioning your body. My experience tells me that your body is conditioned over time to deal with these occasionally cold days. So there is some ways to do it. You can Vaseline up your arms if you want to wear no sleeves, because a lot of times with the precipitation, the ball gets slippery. If you have these sleeves on, it increases the chances of a fumble. And if you fumble the football today, because and some teams have been known to do that here more than others, that will cost you potentially your postseason. So there's a lot of things that go into preparing this game to execute. And the number one thing is going to be ball security. So just getting into the game in general, real quickly, let's talk about Miami. They have been banged up and injured. So we have Jalen Waddle still questionable. Tyreek performed, and he should be okay. He's played in this weather. Again, he's been conditioned for this, so he'll be okay. But he's questionable too. A-Chain's questionable. Mostert's questionable. Out Jerome Baker. Van Ginkel's out. So they're just not healthy right now. And then we have the Dolphins are going to go out there like the Ice Capades today with the Chiefs. So that's going to be interesting to watch. The injury and timing is always paramount in the NFL. Are you getting healthy at the right times? It appears the Dolphins are not, so they're at a disadvantageous position when it comes to the injuries. The last thing about these guys, the Dolphins, is the schedule. So the last 3 games they played, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Dallas. I don't know if there's 3 more physical teams and more difficult teams to play at the end of the season. So there's a reason why they're not so healthy. They played 3 unbelievable football teams that took a toll on their health. Switching over to Kansas City, not as many IR concerns. Kadarius Toney, question mark. Some people might not want him to play from Kansas City. I don't know. I'm just saying. Kelsey has looked hurt, but he was rested, and he's a vet, man, and he gets it. And if there's anybody that can just turn it on and go out there and play, it's Trav. What a baller. The number one thing for Kansas City is Patrick and Andy Reid are super experienced. This isn't going to be their first rodeo. They're going to figure out ways to move the ball just enough, and they probably should find a way to clip the Dolphins. Chris Jones is going to be a huge factor on the defense side of the ball. You're going to need to run the football. If you think that you're going to be down there at Hard Rock Stadium throwing, seven-step bang eights and in-breaking routes on time with Tua, who grew up in Hawaii, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to have to run the football, and Chris Jones is going to have a lot to say about that. The 2 last things that kind of go hand in hand is when you have inclement weather, and it really is difficult. Your fundamentals need to increase. Your ball security needs to increase. So you have to be completely mindful about what you're doing on every single play, because every single play in weather, like, it's going to be difficult to move the ball. You're not coming back from 14 down. You got to stay within touching distance on these games, and you cannot turn the football over.
I'm just over here trying to figure out how long it's going to take you to say disadvantageous again, like you tried to do 2 minutes ago. You got that one down, AB? All of those Coach Phil's keys to the games will be graphically supported when we were up and running, because I love the keys to the game. So does Joe. He says, Coach, AB, and Big Phil, the NFL Dream Team is back, baby, and we are better than ever. I stole that from Greeny. I'll never do that again. But we are better than ever. Now, AB, all of those great nuggets from Phil. As we look at the game today, you got to get on the inside, because this isn't just a regular game. It's going to be 80 degrees, and the entire playbook is going to be at everybody's disposal. It'll feel like they're running on concrete. Every step they'll have to think about. Everything changes, just like Coach Phil just said. Talk to me, AB.
Well, I'm going to talk to you and tell you that there is absolutely no-fly zone in this game, because there's no telling what the hell happens in the air. But I will say this, and we did not discuss this before the show or anything, but Phil, the first thing that you brought up in this game was ball security. We are going to take Dolphins Chiefs over 2.5 turnovers at -120. The Chiefs will throw picks and fumble the football. The Dolphins, not as many picks, but they'll fumble the hell out of the football, and it is going to be all over the place. I also kind of like playing punts over 8.5, but you got to be careful, because when you start betting drive-ending scenarios, punts, turnovers, field goals, touchdowns, there's only so many. Now, you're guaranteed every single drive has to end some way, and we cashed the hell out of some tickets all over the season betting drive-ending scenarios. That being said, love turnovers today. And then from Thursday, Patrick Mahomes, over 4.5 rush attempts. Love this play here. He's going to use his legs, especially when it's cold. He's used to this. He doesn't trust his guys, his skill players, as much as previous seasons. And again, we don't count on it, but kneel downs count as rush attempts as well. So over 4.5, that's where we sit.
Phil, go.
What is the punt number on this one, AB? Is there
8.5. It's 8.5 in both games.
I think, well, not. I would, the first game I'd say, but this one, I mean, even like sometimes when people go for it on 4th and 4, like on the +45, and like, okay, we're going to go for it because we're not going to gain that much net yardage. In this game, your decision making is much different about when you're going to punt and where you're going to punt. And on 4th and whatever, 4th and 4 or 5, 6, on the plus side, to me, in these scenarios, when it's difficult to move the football, those all become punts rather than go for it. So that to me is interesting.
Real quick, because I'm coming right back at you, Phil, but I want to point something out. I'm going to be featuring guys in the chat that are really good handicappers that potentially will be a part of the brand. I see Alicia just says, I like those odds pick management. Pick management is potentially going to be a part of our team, and he is really, really sharp, as is Ben Horner, who we're going to bring on board. You guys have seen him in the chat for months doing his NHL fire picks. Well, that will be a part of Driving the Line starting this week as well. So you'll have somebody in the chat every single day that will help you with a certain sport. Just like right now, Steve Scott's in the chat. You have any golf questions? Put them in there. He'll answer them for you in real time. That's what being a part of the crew is all about. Now, Phil, let me come right back to you. Because this whole season, the storyline has been, and it has literally cost them games. See Green Bay. These wide receivers in Kansas City just can't hold the football. That's part of the reason AB just said he doesn't trust anybody. When you look at today and some of these, and I know Rice has started to get a little bit better, is there somebody that we can look at that you think can step up from a offensive perspective for the Chiefs today?
Offensively, good question. Because if you said receiver core, I was going to say no. And it's no, I'll get to that little dig in a second. But Isaiah Pacheco, okay, to me, and we talked about this earlier in the week. Like he went to Rutgers. This guy runs. I love the way he runs, but this guy kind of built for these types of games. When you have a guy like this, in my mind, I say, yeah, he runs well and the good track, but like this guy should be the difference maker today, in my opinion, because it's just not reasonable to count on anybody to catch the football. And this, like, if you haven't been catching the football in moderate to good conditions, you know, in possessing it and not fumbling and not doing all these things, do you think it's going to get better when the weather gets much, much, much worse than it has been? So I just don't believe that anybody, and I love a lot of the receivers on both sides, but you know, again, I think one of the biggest things we talk about is we're all family here. This is the crew. So for us to say something, we're saying it that you might go out actually and activate a play on what we're saying. So in my heart of hearts, it's just very difficult. I played the receiver position and I played it in inclement weather a lot of times. Your numbers stink. All right. So, you know, you could be at Maine, go 2 for 18. The kid at James Madison just went off for 9 for 118 yards. And you know that he's going to probably be first team all conference and you're going to move to second team because the weather stinks in Maine. That's just part of football. That's the way it works. So today, do not count on the wideouts as far as statistical categories are concerned.
All right, so let's pivot right to where I was going to go. Thank you, Coach Phil. We're talking running. And when you talk about Isaiah Pacheco, AB, and the fact that this man runs like his butt is on fire. I love how he runs. Should we lean in a little bit to that, or something we haven't even hit on is the under today? Your thoughts?
Great question. Look, I'm not going to lie. I do like the under. I think you have two teams here that honestly, and especially for Kansas City, that if they could get a lead, they don't have to score 50 points. They have to score one more than the opponent. And it's more important to keep that offense off of the field than getting in a shootout, because that's not in any scenario what Kansas City wants to do. Now, is that going to happen in a day where it's minus 6,000? I doubt it, right? But I think that Kansas City running the football, any opportunity that you have, they're going to want to do it. And the more success that they have, the better and the more that they're going to do it. So if you got Kansas City in a positive game script or even just 3-3, they're going to run the hell out of the football.
Phil, go.
Turnovers, you know, scoop and scores and pick sixes are points too. So sometimes these game scripts look like really, you know, just it's 3-0 or 7-3 in the first half. And all of a sudden a ball's on the ground, scoop and score. Then a pick six happens that, you know, so that there can be various ways where points can happen where you just normally wouldn't think about it just because the ball could be in jeopardy, you know, a significant portion of the game. So like this game is really interesting. I do think that there's going to be less points scored and more punts. But again, you know, like it's just a hard game to really like have a lot of confidence with what we're about to say, because it's just it's very rare that one of these games occurs with this magnitude of severe weather.
That's a great point. AB, go.
All right, everyone where it is cold across the country, all right? I'm in Nashville, and it rarely gets cold. It's like 30 degrees. We're going to have snow tomorrow. It doesn't happen that often. What I'm getting at is this. If it's cold where you're at, you know when you go turn your car on, right, and your tire pressure, usually sitting 33, 34, 35, is down to about 30? The same thing happens with footballs, all right? The pressure's going to be down. It's going to be a harder ball, but what I'm getting at is you're also not going to have as many field goal opportunities as well. You're not going to have Sanders for Miami lining up, kicking a 51-yarder. It's not going to happen. So, as Phil was mentioning, once you get to basically the 40s, right, your game plan as a coach and a play caller changes a little bit because you're not. Yeah, Phil hit on it like, you know way more than I do.
One example would be like you pretend like you're going for a 48-yard field goal, direct snap to the holder, and he's already your punter, and there's the punt, right? So like every yard is going to matter if the game plays out the way that I think it's going to.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey just said, good point, Allan. Who is Allan? Good point, Allan. Oh, yes. So I had a question. I was just sitting here thinking about all you guys and how much knowledge you're dropping today. And I was also thinking about all the people that have reached out that want to be a part of what we are doing. I have a question for the chat. Are you cool with this, AB? I have a question for the chat. If we were, and I'm not saying that we are, but if we were to develop a site where we have writers and cappers that we vet and that we put all in one place to help you with more content, would that be something that you, the crew, and the universe would like if we put the time and the effort and the money into something like that? Do you think that'd be cool, AB?
I think it'd be phenomenal. Look, Brian and Corey say it best. Yes.
Interesting. TJ says, pumped to get going with some baseball with you guys. So you're typing so fast that I can't even keep up. And this is just a dress rehearsal. Are you kidding me? When you guys see when we're really flying and we're doing football, and you think Phil's only going to be here on football days? Phil, you going to be here every day? Every day?
I got lots to talk about. I got a big mouth. I can talk about it all.
Every day. And then I don't know who controls the schedule. Oh, that would be me. So we could potentially have a recap little show in the evenings, Phil, if we feel so inclined, and talk about the games that just happened that day. We could do that, right?
That would be fantastic. I would love that probably more than anything.
Would you guys like that at home? If you'd like any of all that I just said, type yes into the chat. If you don't, be honest. We're here for feedback. We're listening to you because, AB, who is this about?
It's about the crew. It's about all of us together. That's exactly what it's about.
It's about the Driving the Line universe. Now, I wish that I had a camera on on Howie Schwab.
He's trying, man. He's trying.
My man is fired up. We advertise because you guys are looking for a little bit more picks. Today was more about production. But we do have two other picks I want to give out, and I'll have AB give them out shortly. But he is so fired up. And if you're super, super young and you don't know the legend of Howie Schwab, you got a little bit of homework. I want you to go back today and look up Howie Schwab and understand that there is nobody that knows college basketball more than this man. Dick Vitale started at ESPN in 1979. He's done more basketball games than anybody walking the face of the earth or who has passed on. Guess who is sitting right to the right of Dick Vitale? Every single game and everything that came out of his mouth. Phil, guess who basically was responsible for everything that came out of Dick Vitale's mouth?
Schwab.
So the reason we're doing dress rehearsals is tech. We've upgraded our tech, and it doesn't always work. So we're having issues with him today, but I promise you, by Tuesday when he's on, we'll be ready to go.
The blame is on me. The blame is on me. Don't put it on Howie. The blame is on me. So
I'm not putting it on. I am putting it on you. I'm absolutely putting it on you.
Now, can I put blame on someone else real quick before we hit college basketball?
Maybe. Go ahead.
The blame is on, if anybody is looking to play interceptions we talked about with Flacco and CJ Stroud. One thing that I wanted to note right here, and let me take the banner down just for 1 second so that everybody can see. Okay, so look at CJ Stroud's numbers this year. 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. For a rookie quarterback, that is insane. I don't think it's ever happened, the efficiency of how our man has gotten down. But pay attention to the red zone. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, okay? 2 of his 5 interceptions came in the red zone this year. Now, CJ Stroud, like I said, hasn't thrown a pick recently much at all. But again, go back and look at his last 4 games. The offense looks different. Look at the passing chart right here. Short right, 5 yards and in. Wow. It has looked, yeah. Now, our man opened up the game the other day with a bomb to Nico on play number 1 and looked great. And look, I'm not saying that Stroud can't have a good day today. Our man is a baller. All I'm saying is pay attention to the red zone here. That part's going to be fascinating.
Where is the blue touchdown? Let me see. Is there, where'd you have that?
So, all right. So this, yeah. So if you look on the short left here, if you can see, this is basically an amalgamation, your favorite word, of his last 4 games. So this is kind of what it looks like, right? It's been a much more safe, protected offense, as opposed to your boy Flacco throwing bombs, son. Your boy's not afraid at all.
I like that guy.
Yeah. I have another question. As we try to figure out it, we want to get this show just right. And we were having a meeting with the team, and Phil said his answer to this question was 2 hours, coach. How long do you want this show to be every day? That's the question. Because the other day we had so much fun. I looked down and we were at 1 hour and 5 minutes. We're not going to do 1 hour and 5 minutes every day. But we could do longer than we did before. Also, we're going to start putting picks really at the top of the show, and then we're going to add discussion below those picks, and then we'll take that discussion out of the show, novel concept, and we'll post it on social media in little clips. So if for some reason you can't be here at that time, and why wouldn't you be? You'll still be able to hear Phil and hear AB and hear myself and hear all of our other cappers. So that's the plan. But I want you to put into the chat 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour. What? 30 to 45, Greenback says. That was my suggestion. AB, what do you think?
I'm good. You want to go 6 hours? Let's let it.
I was going to say, you took a shot at me, but I was going to have you poll the crew to ask them, who do you think would be more likely to have a 2-hour show, me or AB?
So, okay, let me answer that. Number 1, it would be Phil because he's the man. And number 2, it would be Howie Schwab because he's the man.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen. So stop. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is live, right?
We are live. Yes, we are.
But it's internet, so I can swear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been the most fucked up 45 minutes of my life. Let me tell you something. This has been insane. But let's talk sports. Enough of the bullshit I just went through. I'm so pissed at my computer. What can I say? Yes, I wore my Mahomes jersey just because, hey, there's a football game today. Not that I care because St. John's plays at 1, but that's okay.
Was anybody wondering why we're going to have Howie Schwab on the show? The last 20 seconds tells you exactly why. All right.
Oh,
Howie.
Sure.
Oh, hey. But see, that's why we're doing the restaurant. Now, Howie, we're because we can, and I control this show. I know you have great thoughts on these 2 football games. So I want to backtrack, do that, and then we have your college basketball picks coming up. But you're wearing your Mahomes jersey. So let's start with that game. It's the second game today. We've heard from Phil. We've heard from AB. When you get into your lab, which is much different than anybody else's, how are you breaking this game down?
Well, first of all, I look at Miami, and I heard you guys talking because I did hear some of the audio. Pretty good, huh? The fact that they played 3 very physical teams and got out of it hurt is a big factor because the injuries, I think this is a totally different game if one guy is playing who's not. and that's Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb has been a difference maker for Miami all season. And then why is he in the game late? And then he gets hurt and he's lost for the season. Very questionable. I know you can second guess. But if Bradley Chubb was playing this game, I think it might be a little different. But then you go back to injuries. Mostert, questionable. And even if he plays, playing in minus 4-degree temperature, you could re-injure yourself. You could fumble. You won't have the footwork in place. You have Waddle hurt. I mean, you have defense. Obviously, you mentioned Van Ginkel. I mean, there's just so many injuries. Howard not 100%. You know, if Miami was 100%, even with the weather, they'd have a shot. But now, then let's throw another fact out there. Tagliavoa, 0-4 lifetime in the NFL in 45-degree weather or colder. 45.
Wow.
-4. Are you kidding me? Could make a steak. Hey, here in Miami, it was 80 yesterday. Okay? Sorry, guys. Kansas City is used to this. Kansas City has the home crowd, so the timing could be thrown off too. I mean, to me, this is actually pretty easy. I think Kansas City wins by 10 points.
Look at that. And by the way, Howie, I never want you to apologize to any of us. You're part of the crew. You're going to be here, and you've earned your spot. So don't apologize for anything. You let it rip, and I'll control everything else.
No. My only apology is I'm old school. So computers, yeah, I know how to use a computer. Though your producer's probably like, this guy is so fucked up. What is he doing? And then, I woke up feeling like crap. I said, I got to do this. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I go to log on, Shipyard or StreamYard or StopYard, whatever the fuck this is. And it's like, okay, all right, this will take it'll take an hour. Great.
It was the greatest interest in the history of anything we've
done. In the history of shows, the greatest.
Hey, it's only a rehearsal.
There you now. Noah in the chat says, "Hey Howie, for your own sanity, let somebody else set up Peacock for you tonight."
Excuse me. I've had Peacock for over a year because I watch the wrestling pay-per-views. Peacock is not an issue. And second, here in Miami, the game is on regular TV anyway. So I'll be watching on regular TV.
There you go, buddy.
But thanks for the help. I appreciate all the help.
Raphael says, best show ever already. Jeff says, LOL, it's only a rehearsal. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, let me tell you something. I play to play for real, okay? When I started Stump the Schwab started, Michael Davies said, oh, just come down. We're going to do rehearsals. We want to just get the lighting and the seat, how the seat is. We have someone there for you to be your stunt double. Stunt double, yeah, right. I said, no, I'm going to sit in your chair. I'm going to get used to the lighting. I'm going to be comfortable. It took me 5 minutes. And it was a definite advantage because some people who played against me couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, I knew what I was going against. I knew what I was doing. And I was fine. And so when it comes to rehearsal, I believe in being on time. Oh, well.
What? Howie, I can tell you this right now. This is exactly when we envisioned, and this is part of the reason we're doing this. We wanted to do it the way we wanted to do it because you guys deserve it. This is what I'm talking about. This is educate and entertain in every sense of the word. Howie.
Well, you be honest, okay? Too many people out there are not honest. And in the gambling world, it's hysterical. Oh, I hit 80% of my winners. Oh, I do this. I do that. Bullshit. Who are you kidding? Don't lie to people. Tell them the truth. If you lose a game, be honest. You fucking lost. I picked a game for a friend one day. I was off by about 30 points. I apologized to him 10 times. I said, what can I say? You have opinions based on what you see, on what you research, on what you do, and hopefully it works. The other night I had a game. I didn't give it out. I probably, since you and I talked, Coach, I said, let me put up a game here and there. Pardon me.
It's okay.
That was the team that lost by 40. And so, like the other night, I put up Georgetown over Seton Hall. I thought they'd cover, and they did. I was going to put up TCU over Oklahoma. I never put it up. Oh, it's okay. Those two would have won. Last night, I probably would have lost. So, you be honest. Be honest. The other thing is have fun.
You're damn right.
I know we're going to have fun. AB, nice to be with you. Guys, I'm happy to be part of a team.
That's funny. We could not be more happy to have you. That was the greatest start to any show I've ever seen in my life. You are the man.
Well, I hope we don't repeat it next time. So,
but here's the thing, because the chat's going absolutely bananas right now. And if you guys think this is like a one-off, oh hell no. Alicia says Schwab's the guy I would pick to yap at the bar with LOL. So Howie, how would you feel about as we're developing this brand and when I reached out to you,
I'm in. Period. The only thing is, and I'm being honest, due to health issues, I'm on dialysis 3 days a week.
So how about we bring you on the other 2 days, and the universe doesn't care. I want you here as much as you physically can be
listen,
here.
I don't care. As far as chat goes, I could sit in my chair at dialysis and yap. I have no problem. The problem is, unfortunately, what happened, and I'll be candid, back in June, I was getting ready to watch the Heat-Celtic game, Game 7. My wife comes in the room, goes, "You look pale as a ghost. Something's wrong." I said, "I feel okay. I'm getting you to the hospital." Fortunately, the hospital is 5 minutes from here. Pardon my coughing. Anyway, bottom line, blood clot and fluid in my heart and lungs. They told me if I didn't show up then, I would have died. So that's kind of an interesting message. And you realize in life that if you get a second chance, you better take advantage of it. So every day I get up. I know it's got to be a good day. You make it as good a day as you can and just try to enjoy life. And in this world that's so fucked up right now, I'm cursing too much, but I'm being honest.
I gotta tell you right now.
You gotta enjoy yourself. Gotta be positive. Too many people are negative with everything going on in the world.
And that's why we started this, Howie, and that's why I wanted you to be a part of it. And now as we grow, we're going to do so many different things. And not only do you bring knowledge, but you bring fun. And I love the message because we all love sports. And you in particular, you made your entire life about basketball and sports. And when you think about getting up in the morning, you just talked about it, and you say, hey, I want to feel alive. How much does sports and talking sports play into giving yourself that energy to come here every day?
Well, I just love doing it. I've loved doing it for 40 years. And if I could ever stop coughing, that would be nice. But I just enjoy it. I love being around, talking to people about sports. I love that we have comparisons. I know some people have opinions that are different and then try to stick it down your throat. But, you try to be respectful in discussions.
Yes.
Some people are very respectful. Some people are in the basement with their grandmothers on Twitter and just X. Pardon me. Let me call it X.
You can call it Twitter if you want. You call it whatever you want.
Another ridiculous story. But anyway.
Agreed.
Bottom line, sports is fun. And talking
right
about these games, let's talk Cleveland, Houston.
All right. Talk to me. What are you thinking about on this one?
Well, Houston has a major problem right off the bat because when Cleveland beat him 36-22, Amari Cooper destroyed him, 265 receiving yards. You have to be major concerned about that. The other thing is Houston, while they are a great story, and to me, D'Amico Ryans is coach of the year. To me, Stroud is rookie of the year. A great story, but you know what? This is playoffs. You've never had the playoff pressure. You've never been at home trying to satisfy the fans. And then you're going against the Brown defense.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yep.
Very, very tough. There's
tough.
a reason why the Browns are favored in Houston, because they should be. And with Flacco, who is used to the playoff pressure, who has done it before, and you have several Cleveland players who have played in the playoff pressure before, and the timing is different because of longer commercials. And the whole thing, I like Cleveland to win and cover. I like them to win by a touchdown. I hope it's a good game, but not good enough.
All right,
Houston, great season, but I think it ends today.
All right, so to be official, Howie Schwab is on. We just call him Schwab. We're just calling him Schwab. He's on the Chiefs to win by at least 10, and the Browns on the road to take care of business. Now let's pivot to the sport that is in your blood, Howie. You have been to so many good games, and I know you're targeting 2 games today because now we're really, as the football season's winding down, college basketball is taking center stage. What do you got?
Well, first of all, let me say something about that.
Okay.
So many fans say, oh, college basketball doesn't really start until January because realistically, college football's on. And that's so wrong because if you don't think it started or you don't think it matters, number one, teams improve their resumes with big wins. Number 2, teams struggle. Look at Michigan State with 6 losses. They play a murder schedule, and but they'll be okay. UCLA won't, and now you see what UCLA is: too young a team, and finding a way to lose games. Cal State Northridge at home, lose to Cal at Stanford. Boy, it's gonna be a rough year for Mick Cronin.
I think so.
Now let's talk about these games.
All right,
Kansas, Oklahoma. Give me 1 second.
You're all good, baby. You're all good here.
I apologize. The coughing is when I talk too much, I cough, but I'll figure it out.
We'll get it locked in. Don't worry.
I wish that was the same for AB.
There you go.
I got to give a shout out. My man Schwab, the first thing he said, Amari Cooper. I'm telling you, big day for Amari. Big day for the Browns, 100%.
I think so.
All right. So while you're
okay, Kansas, Oklahoma, very simple. Both teams coming off losses. Kansas losing to UCF is shocking, but oh God, it just shows Big 12 on the road is not easy. It's never easy. And now Kansas comes home, obviously a different team at Fog Allen. I mean, Kansas has won 5 straight versus Oklahoma, and the fact of the matter is Hunter Dickinson, a guy who is having a great year, to me, will be a huge factor in the game. Here's a guy who's averaging almost 20 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and blocking shots, and he can hit the 3. And he will be dominant in this game. Oklahoma, coming off the loss the other night to TCU, they have problems. Oweh, one of their better players, 2 for 10 the last 2 games. And Oklahoma's lost 5 straight to Kansas. So I like Kansas to win this game. And I think the number is pretty generous. Only 5.5 to 6.5.
all right.
I
Very
think
good.
Kansas wins. The other thing that's interesting, Bill Self is sending a message. Okay? He was very upset the other night. Now, Elmarco Jackson is being inserted in the starting lineup. An exciting freshman. So he's shaking things up. He's sending a message.
And when you're playing in Allen Fieldhouse, it always helps to send that message with 20,000 strong that are coming behind you when you just lost a game to UCF. So we've got
there's one other message here.
No doubt.
Oklahoma is leaving the Big 12. They're going to the SEC. There's a lot of bad blood between Texas, Oklahoma, and schools like Kansas and Baylor, etc. And Kansas wants to send a message. Walk out the door and get the hell out. Okay? Because there is no love lost over what happened with Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC.
No doubt about
Kansas
it.
wants to send a message. Self wants his team back to where it was before the UCF game, and I think they'll get there. I think they win by double figures.
All right, so Jayhawks is number 1. Now we've got a second pick that Howie absolutely loves today. So let's switch to that game quickly. Kentucky and Texas A&M. Speaking of the SEC, and the numbers look like this, according to BetMGM. A&M favored by 1.5. The over, a robust for college basketball, 154.5. Schwabby, where are you headed?
Well, it's funny. I made the pick before the line came out, and I figured Kentucky would be a slight favorite on the road. And playing at A&M is very difficult, and it has been in the past for Kentucky. And then A&M became a 1.5-point favorite. That tells me how seriously Vegas thinks this game is for A&M, a team that suffered some tough losses. They lost to FAU in a close game. They lost Baylor. Houston was a close game. They play well. Sorry. They play well against tough teams. One advantage, Kentucky, a very young team, inexperienced, going on the road in a tough place. Now A&M at home, the key player of the game, Wade Taylor IV. He's a guy who was picked first team all-league in the preseason. But the other night, LSU beat A&M, embarrassed them. Wade Taylor was 0 for 8. I guarantee you Wade Taylor will make a basket in the first 2 minutes of the game and forget about the 0 for 8. And when you have veteran players, they know that this is a huge game. A&M was picked second in the preseason poll in the SEC, and they have not lived up to expectations. Buzz Williams will have his team ready. I think A&M wins the game, and Vegas knows that. Putting the line at 1.5 A&M, they're trying to get you to bet Kentucky. A&M's going to win the game.
And that's why you come here. That's why we dive inside. That's why we are going to be the smartest sports betting and sports brand in the universe. We just passed, and I can't believe for the second show in a row, the hour mark. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, we're going to get dialed in. We're going to be ready to go. But this will not be the only place. You'll be able to see Howie, Phil, AB. We're going to have a full functioning website. We're obviously have our YouTube page. We're going to have the crew. We're going to have so many different ways that you're going to be to interact with us and then also get more picks. Just because Howie's at dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, do you think we're not going to have a pick here on the show from him? Of course we are, because we're the crew for a reason. Howie, we are honored to have you as a part of the crew. I can't wait to get started. Thank you for
great to be here. Great to finally be here. It was really a fun hour.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to have so many great hours.
But now the microphone works.
I can't believe that the Schwab dropped.
Now that Boatyard streaming works. Now that hey, it's great. I mean, now I can take the Mahomes jersey off and go watch games. Yeah, I already. By the way, just for the record, I watched the Chelsea game this morning in soccer. I'm a Chelsea fan.
We're going to be talking soccer here on the show, too. We love the English Premier League and Bundesliga and Serie A and all those. We're doing it all. So,
Ligas.
Yeah. I think.
Now, here's the one thing.
Yeah.
You could ask the fans, bet on what I'm having for lunch.
On that note, by the way,
I have to explain a philosophy in life.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Very simple. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are very important in life. Food. Eat for those who can't. Howie's Kids, the organization I started years ago to feed people like myself.
You just gave me an idea.
I'm joking. Yes.
No, but you just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea because you know me. I'm not going to say it right now.
Coach, it never stopped. Oh, God. It never stopped.
All right, we've got to get going. We got to get out of here. But what you just witnessed and heard the last hour, that's what we're going to be all about. I say it all the time. Hashtag educate and entertain. We truly mean this now, and we can deliver. We want you to be not just the smartest sports fan in the world. We want you to start your day with a group of people that truly care about you and want you to be involved and care about you being here. I truly mean that. We are just getting started. Our goal, our mission is to grow the biggest sports betting brand and community in the world. And we're not going to stop until we get there. I encourage you to follow us all on social media. When our website is up and running, we'll have all of our content there, all of our updates, but we're going to be doing stuff every single day, and be a little patient with us, because as we grow, that's when we're going to add things as we have time to get to them and build our team. But in the meantime, you don't get marching orders this morning. No. That's for game time. That's for Monday. But I thank you very much for taking the time today. Enjoy the games today, and understand every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern time, that is your time. And we'll be here to lead you right through it. Until then, I'm the coach for Phil, for AB, for our main man, Howie Schwab. We will see you tomorrow at noon Eastern time, breaking down 3 wild card games for Sunday afternoon and evening. Until then, I am the coach. Have a great day.